So a few months ago, I did a video on the Hyper Megatech Super Pocket from Evercade. It's their secondary brand for these smaller handhelds. Now, Evercade is known for doing these larger kind of PSP Vita size handhelds that let you play a bunch of retro games on cartridges that are fully licensed and everything, so there's no ROMs. It's fully licensed games that you can go ahead and play and stuff like that. So I did a quick unboxing of the handheld itself, what it came with, and just a quick rundown of it. Want to do just slightly a little bit more in-depth video on it if you're looking to get into the Evercade market. If you're not familiar with them, definitely check them out. They're based in the UK, but you can buy these and the Evercade stuff on Amazon and through other retailers as well. If you're ever looking to get into it and you don't want to spend too much money up front, definitely go with this smaller version. You know, it's very reminiscent of a Game Boy Pocket. I mean, that's where it got its name, Super Pocket. I'm assuming that's where it's coming from. But yeah, it just takes you back to the days of having cartridges that you would put into your handhelds rather than everything just being stored on an emulator. Now, some people might say, well, what's the point? I'd rather just have everything stored in here. I don't want to have to be fiddling with cartridges. But you know, that's their whole thing. Their whole thing is for nostalgia's purpose of being able to have, you know, cartridges again, just like back in the day. So that's their whole reasoning behind it and stuff. And also because they have a multitude of products now. They have one called the Versus, which is pretty much just a home console version that lets you play all of the cartridges as well. And they're coming out with an like a barcade arcade countertop one as well with joystick that's also going to be compatible with all of the Evercade cartridges. So that's really cool. And up front, I'm going to say this is not sponsored by Evercade in any way. These are my opinions and my own, and these were all purchased by me. There are dozens of Evercade cartridges. I only have a few here. I haven't collected any of their most recent ones, but I did pre-order the Tomb Raider collection, which will have 1, 2, and 3. So it'll be pretty neat to play Tomb Raider on this thing. But let me show you my original Evercade handheld here. This was the first one that came out. The first pre-orders, I think, were in black, but this was the first model they had. It's okay. Obviously, it looks very, you know, like Fisher pricey. A thing I noticed the other day when I turned it on, I'll go ahead and fire it up here real quick for you guys, is that there's a line, but there was a line, oh yeah, there it is. You can barely see it, but there's a line here now that's bleeding in that's kind of always there, which is kind of a bummer. I don't remember it always being like that, but it kind of sucks that it's always there now. So I don't know if that was a faultiness on the hardware, but I've also had it for like 2 or 3 years, I think. But yeah, so getting back onto it, these are just great. You know, like I said, anyone that loves emulation, stick with emulation if that's what you want. But if you're here to look at being able to play these cartridges again, then it's really cool because they're fully licensed stuff. And let me go ahead and show you some of the ones I have here in my little case. And you can get this case for the Evercade, the original one, on Amazon. It's really cool. I like the material and stuff, and it's been pretty good. But yeah, they have quite a few. Like here, the ones that have Data East Collection 1, Interplay Collection 1, there's a bunch of them. And then if you see these purple ones, these are generally arcade games. So a lot of these are from home consoles like the NES and such like that. You're going to find a lot of these that are going to have versions of the games that are from the home consoles. But then they started releasing these arcade versions of the games, and they're straight up the arcade versions of these games. So yeah, there's a lot of options. The one that I have in here right now is the Atari Arcade. So yeah, you get your Atari games in here, and let me see if I can launch something that I can probably play without paying too much attention while I talk to you guys. Let's just put it on Asteroid. But I really like the smaller handheld, and it's really cool that it charges with USB-C. This original one was micro USB, but I think their newer models have USB-C on them. I just have to say it's really cool, and this is a really comfortable handheld. Their newer ones are more comfortable as well, from what I've heard. I haven't purchased any of their newer systems, just this one. I have the Versus home console that comes with 2 controllers, and then I got this guy. This is only 50 bucks. This is crazy. Only 50 bucks. This one was 100 and about 20. And it came with like 2 cartridges. This one is your greatest option if you kind of just want to get started. And what's cool about these is they have 4 different versions now. They have a Taito edition, they have a Techno edition, you know, Street Fighter 2, Mega Man 1, I believe, and a bunch of other Capcom games that I'll go ahead and launch here. But what's really cool, like I said, this is just a shell. There's nothing on this thing. This is empty. This is just to kind of keep it safe and stuff like that. But you can always load any of these cartridges, which is really neat, into it. And honestly, I wonder if you could just load it up. Oh, you can't, so you could just take it out while the system is on. But it comes preloaded with Capcom games on it. Like I mentioned before, we got Street Fighter, Strider, Wolf of the Battlefield, 1942, Battle of Midway, Lootmaster, Bionic Commando, Captain Commando, Final Fight, which is really great, Forgotten Worlds, Ghouls and Ghosts, and Mega Man. It's just the first Mega Man, but you know, it's still cool that they were able to license those and get them on there. And I've shown these games before, so everyone knows what these look like. But like I said, it's really cool that they let you now, you know, have these cartridges that you could just put into these $50 handhelds and be able to play all the games that come with all these different cartridges. It's just really cool. And the cartridges start at $20, but sometimes you're gonna find them online for 25 or 30. So just check when they do a restock. That's usually when you can get it at the good price, because yeah, sometimes Amazon will just overcharge for some reason for some of them, or if it's not sold by Amazon. There you go. So we got Burger Time, and this is the arcade edition. And yeah, these like I said, these games just run great, man. It's really hard to play and do this at the same time, but you get all the good music, you get everything out of it. It's just awesome. I'm a huge fan of arcade games, and being able to play all these on this tiny little handheld is just rad. It's really cool. And I'm dead. Like I said, they all come preloaded with games. You can check them out online and see what they come with. But yeah, guys, these are really neat. Some of these button placements sometimes are a little weird, especially, you know, when you're playing some games that are required. Thankfully, not too many require these in the back, but I know like Street Fighter does. So just know that it could be a little weird, but it depends on your hand size as well. To where this one, it only had the 2. Later on, they ended up including these other ones for some of the other games, but like I said, they're all fully compatible with each handheld that you get. I'm not even sure if this original one is available anymore for purchase, but they have their newer versions. Definitely check them out and support them, guys. It's always great to be able to just have these kinds of games on the go with you, you know, when you just want to take a small collection of games with you and not have a gigantic library of like, what the hell am I going to play? There's so much stuff, you know, so you could just take like the Atari one with you, or you know, just the ones that come built in, the Capcom ones, and you just play those games for a little while. They do have save states, so that's really cool. Anytime you want to save the game, you go ahead and do so, load the game and such like that. And yeah, they have all these kinds of options, aspect ratios, scan lines if you want to add them to kind of get that feel for it, but I kind of just like to leave it as is. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Are you plan on picking any of these up? Like I said, I honestly recommend them. It's cool, it has a headphone jack, which I forgot to mention, but I honestly think these are great. They're awesome little handhelds. $50 is a great price to start at, and then, you know, you could go with what comes built in and look at any other collection that you've seen on there. That's gonna do it for the video on the Evercade stuff. Like I said, let me know down in the comments if you have one of these, or if you're planning on pick one up, which one are you gonna get, what kind of stuff would you like to see on more Evercade stuff or something else. Let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Bye bye.